Hello, and welcome to the Center for Parenting Education and Part 2 of Self-Esteem, in which we will look at ways you can encourage healthy levels of self-esteem in your children. Children are not born into this world with a picture of themselves. They do not say, "I am worthy, I am capable." Rather, they develop an image of themselves over time through their interactions with their primary caregivers. How you respond to their needs, to their requests, to their attempts to grow, tell your children what you think of them. Known as a psychological mirror, your words, tone, and action reflect whether you see your children as being worthwhile or an annoyance, and whether you see them as being capable or inept. None of us are perfect, and most of us have said things in the heat of frustration or anger that we later regret. An occasional comment will not damage your children. It is the steady diet of negative messages that children incorporate into their own view of themselves that causes children to have unhealthy levels of self-esteem. There are things that you can say that will directly support your children's self-esteem. These are being and doing messages, and together they form a ladder. You need to provide both being and doing messages for your children to have a strong internal foundation. The being messages speak to the lovable part of the self-esteem equation and refer to unconditional love. It's valuing your children for who they are and embracing all of the things that make them unique. So examples of being messages include, "I'm so glad you're my son. I love to watch you grow. You're important to me. Hearing your laugh makes me smile. I'm so glad you're here." You can also convey being messages through your actions, such as giving a hug, sitting next to your child, giving a back rub, or giving them the greatest gift of all, your time and attention. All of these words and actions tell your children that you consider them to be a joy, not a burden, and that they are worthy of being loved. The doing messages speak to the capable part of self-esteem. They refer to all of the things your children can do, their special areas of talent, and also their potential for growth. For example, "Look at how hard you worked on that project. That's what I call being persistent. With practice, you can do it. Thanks for your help. It made the chore go so much faster." Or, "You have a good eye for color." With some children, it can be easy to find their strengths. For other children, at certain stages, it can feel more difficult. When times are tough, that's when your children really need you to find their islands of competency and to help them to see themselves in the best light. It can be as simple as finding the one letter on a page of A's that was well formed, or catching them the one time they show consideration for another. You can catch them being the person you want them to be. You can also share stories of previous success from their youth and assure them that they still possess the skills to succeed. You can be their storehouse of finer moments. For example, perhaps your child's a little nervous about entering a new class. You could remind her of the time when she was younger and she entered the playground and within 5 minutes had all the kids playing a game she created. You could assure her that she still possesses these same qualities to make friends. The following is a list of specific things you can do to help your children like themselves and build their self-esteem. So the first is to be a good role model. Don't put yourself down. Stand up for your rights. Be assertive and be your own advocate. Focus on the positives in your child. Spend more time telling them what they do well than harping on their shortcomings. Be a warehouse of their successes, as we mentioned, and be a source of encouragement. You can celebrate the small steps your children take along the way toward reaching a larger goal. Have reasonable expectations so you're not expecting too much from your children or too little. Assign meaningful and appropriate tasks so your children can feel capable and competent. Create situations where your children can succeed, and thank them for a job well done. Small gestures of appreciation can go a long way. Take your children's feelings and thoughts seriously. Listen to them and their concerns. Make sure they know that their opinions are important to you. Problem solve without judging or blaming. Work together when there is an obstacle or something that needs to be fixed. Spend time together, play with your children, and use humor. Try to make lighter of the moments and not make everything quite so serious with them. They'll be more likely to want to join in with you and to see themselves as being capable of solving problems rather than feel like they are the problem. Thank you for joining us for this podcast.